Hi, I'm Nathan from CDK Stone, and welcome to another episode of the Designer Collaboration Series. We're here today in Melbourne's Albert Park, a waterfront suburb some 3 kilometres from Melbourne CBD. We're fortunate enough to be here today with the man behind these inspiring interiors, Kent Stringer of Kent Stringer Interior Design. Kent, welcome and thank you for having us.
Welcome Nathan and welcome CDK Stone, and thank you very much for giving us the opportunity to showcase what we think is a lovely house.
Now Kent, before we take a look through this wonderful home, we'd all love to hear a little bit more about Kent Stringer Interior Design. Can you tell us a little bit about yourself in the studio?
Sure. Okay, well our studio is small. There's just 3 of us, 2 designers and an office manager. We work very collaboratively together. No one really overtakes one issue from another. So it's a very harmonious way of working, and we're very happy in our studio, which is very close to you in South Melbourne.
Fantastic.
So we do a lot of inner city work, but happy to travel anywhere.
Fantastic. And how long have you been doing interior design for?
Do I have to answer that question, Nathan?
You do?
Okay, well, 30 years now, so it's been a long time. Seen many, many changes through the industry, but it's a very pleasurable way to work.
And what type of work does the studio specialise in, Kent?
Now it's mostly residential.
Mm-hmm.
All gamuts are residential. We have worked in restaurants, commercial work, a whole gamut of interior design, but at this stage, we love working in residential work, so that's where our focus now is now.
Can you tell us a little bit more about the project and the scope of work that you were responsible for?
Sure. Well, the project itself is almost 7 to 8 years in the making.
Wow.
Which sounds incredible, but with council and all sorts of elements, so were a big delay. So it came to fruition the beginning about 2 years ago, and we worked with the clients basically every day for 2 years. There was a very close association with clients, which often is, you become almost part of their lives.
Fantastic. And the scope of work you're responsible for here today, what do they involve?
Well, basically everything you see in this house we're responsible for. So from everything you touch, you see, you feel, the tiles for every single element of the design we were responsible for, together with our client.
Yes.
But of course was really everything in the whole build. So
Kent, during the 2-year process, what do you think were some of the highlights for the client?
Well, in building a house, Nathan, there are many highlights because there are lots of choices to make. But for these particular clients, the stone was a major factor in their choices. As you know, we had a couple of visits to the selection centre, which is a treasure trove of the most beautiful stones we've ever seen.
Yeah.
And wandering through there is so exciting and such fun, and they enjoyed it too. They both fairly strong-willed. I suppose I'm there to guide them, as you helped me to. And so it was great just wandering through and choosing the stones that we chose. We had to be conscious that stones interact with each other and the rooms are close together, so we didn't want one fighting against another. So that was a major factor in our choices.
Kent, you've used Mont Blanc Quartzite extensively through the kitchen here. Can you tell us a little bit about why yourself and the client chose and selected this stone?
Yeah, sure, Nathan. For a number of reasons. First, its durability and its strength. It's a strong stone. We also love the random sort of veining of it. It wasn't too structured. Every little piece has its own interest.
Yeah.
And also the colour of it. The clients had already chosen the graphite melee ovens, which is a charcoaly graphite colour. And the paint colour we chose was, I think, called White Century from Dulux, which is sort of a warm white. So Mont Blanc had both those qualities. It had this lovely warm white background with almost graphite veins through it, almost as you got a pencil and drawn on it. So it brought together the 2 elements that we already had in place. So when we saw this at the selection centre, it was almost, goes without saying, it was going to be the correct one to use. And also it doesn't overtake the kitchen. It's got a very subtleness to it. And because this is an open plan living area, we didn't want one area to overtake another. So it was just the right solution for this particular kitchen.
Fantastic. Kent, the moment you walk in this home, you're met with this incredible geometric floor done in a Thasos marble, honed finish, and jet black granite inlays. Can you tell us a little bit more about the inspiration behind the floor?
Yes, well, that was a very interesting process. The architect, or CAT architects, saw a ceiling in Japan that sort of was the design of the floor. So they sort of reversed the ceiling and made a design for the floor, and using the elements that were in the ceiling. So it was a very complex floor to make. It's quite simple in reality, but the design was very, very specific and needed a craftsman to make such a beautiful floor, which we're very fortunate to find through you. So the result, I think, is really, really lovely. It, to me, has a little bit of a modern take on a traditional black and white marble floor that you see a lot of Victorian houses around this area. But it's a very contemporary take on it, and I think it suits the house beautifully. It's a wonderful way to enter the house and draw you into the whole space.
Absolutely, it definitely sets the tone the moment you walk in, and I do know from memory the tiles you see in that geometric print, they were cut by hand by 20mm slab material, which is just phenomenal.
It was. We're very, very fortunate to find someone that could do the floor, because we wanted to keep the floor. There's no way it wasn't going to happen. But finding someone to make it happen was a process.
Kent, you've used Rosa Calmante in the powder room, which could be considered one of the most beautiful rooms in the home. Can you tell us a little bit more about why that stone was selected for the space?
Yes, well, it is a very beautiful stone, Nathan, I have to agree. It's absolutely beautiful. You may remember when we visited the selection centre, wandering through all the alleyways of beautiful stone, and our clients literally stopped dead in their tracks because it is just so beautiful. And so immediately it was our choice for the powder room. Sometimes I think the stone is lit from behind, which gives a softer wash to it. But in our case, we decided to light it from the front because it just has such a beauty to it, and we really wanted to show that and give it its full strength. The stone starts at the floor, it works its way up to the bench top. The drawer fronts are in the stone, the tops are in the stone, and the whole wall is in the stone. And I think that when you stand back from it, which you do when you enter the powder room, you see how the beauty of basically a wall in this wonderful, wonderful stone. So I think I have to agree with you. It is one of the most beautiful rooms in this house.
I think it's one of the most glamorous powder rooms I've ever seen.
That's very good to hear. Yeah, most people when they open the door walk in and their breath is taken away because it just has such a lovely impact. It's a wonderful, wonderful stone to use.
Absolutely. You've used Orvieto Dolomite in the master ensuite. Take us through the space.
Okay, well, the decision on that was, our brief from our client was to have colour in the house. So the bedroom is laid with lots of different colour and texture and some beautiful, beautiful fabric. So I thought that when you entered the bathroom, you wanted something to have more serenity about it, and they were very agreeable with that too. So that stone provided like a serenity in the bathroom. Our client spends a lot of time thinking in the shower, so we wanted to make it a very more meditative room almost. So that stone provided that for us. It has some lovely little shimmers, it has a little bit of movement, but it's a beautiful background for an ensuite. So that was the main reason we chose that it's gentleness, and when you're in the bathroom, you feel quite at peace, I think, there. So that was the reason behind that choice.
It's definitely very serene, it's very calming, and I love how you've used it again up the vertical cabinetry fronts, across the vanity. It's well done.
It was quite complex again to do that, and you're right, it's used as the drawer fronts, the vanity top, I think the ceiling and the sides is all that stone. So it's a very beautiful feature in the bathroom.
Now, Kat, in terms of design, are there any current trends you're loving at the moment?
It's an interesting question for me, Nathan, because our studio doesn't sort of follow trends as such. We tend to work more with the client's likes and dislikes, pieces of furniture they may want to keep, pieces of furniture they may want to not use anymore. We like natural products, natural stones, natural timbers, textures, but there are a number of those to choose from, so they're sort of tailored to what our clients really like. We find that balance in interiors are very important, locations of furniture, paintings, artifacts, and also lighting, I think, is a major part of the design because it creates such a beautiful ambience to every single room. You probably noticed downstairs, to highlight the stone floor, we looked at a number of different options like Venetian plaster, painting the room, wallpaper. None of them worked for us. So we decided to run a series of pin lights to accentuate the curved wall to lead you into the house. And then we also put floor lights to accentuate the beautiful stone floor. And that's the sort of thing I think makes a house. It's sort of balanced, natural textures, stones, finishes, and also lighting. I think they're key elements in interior design. So we're very happy with that result here.
Ken, thank you so much for having myself and the team here at CDK Stone through this beautiful home you presented. You must love it just as much as the clients do. Thank you for having us.
Well, thank you very much for coming, Nathan, and allowing me to show you through the house. The clients are very happy with the results, which makes us very happy as well. So it's been a joy to have you here, and once again, thank you for coming.
Thank you.